What kind of adult is your parenting creating? Not what kind of child, what kind of adult? Because here is the truth that nobody likes to talk about. The way you parent today is writing the script for your child's therapy sessions 20 years from now. Therapists see the same patterns over and over. Adult clients sitting on their couches, struggling with anxiety, depression, relationship issues, low self-worth. And when you trace these struggles back to their roots, you find the same 4 parenting styles showing up again and again. These are not obvious abuse or neglect. These are common parenting approaches that well-meaning parents use every single day, not realizing the long-term impact. Today, we are going to talk about the 4 parenting styles that research shows are most likely to land your kids in therapy as adults, and how to change that before it's too late. This might be hard to hear. You might recognize yourself in some of these styles. That is okay. Awareness is the first step toward change, and it is never too late to shift your approach. Before we get to the specific styles, it's important to understand that childhood experiences shape adult mental health. Your child's brain is developing right now. Every interaction they have with you is literally wiring their brain. It is shaping their beliefs about themselves, about other people, about how the world works, about whether they are safe, worthy, capable. These beliefs become the lens through which they see everything as adults. They become the foundation of their self-esteem, their relationship patterns, their emotional regulation, their ability to handle stress. When therapists work with adults, they are essentially helping people rewrite the stories they learned in childhood. Stories like, I am not good enough, I cannot trust anyone, my feelings do not matter, I have to be perfect to be loved, the world is not safe. These stories did not appear out of nowhere. They were taught, often unintentionally, often by parents who loved their children deeply but did not understand the impact of their parenting style. So what are the 4 parenting styles that create these stories? Parenting style number 1, the authoritarian parent. This is the strict, controlling, my way or the highway parent. Rules are rigid. Obedience is expected without question. Emotions are not tolerated. Mistakes are punished, not used as learning opportunities. The authoritarian parent believes that strict discipline creates well-behaved, successful children. And on the surface, it often works. These kids tend to follow rules. They do not talk back. They get good grades. They look like modeled children. But here is what is happening underneath. These children learn that their thoughts, feelings, and opinions do not matter. They learn that love is conditional lit depends on perfect behavior. They learn that making mistakes is shameful and dangerous. They learn to suppress their emotions because expressing them leads to punishment or dismissal. As adults, these children often struggle with anxiety and perfectionism. They have impossibly high standards for themselves and are devastated by failure. They have trouble making decisions because they never learned to trust their own judgment. They were always told what to do. They struggle in relationships because they either become controlling themselves, repeating the pattern they learned, or they become people pleasers who have no idea how to set boundaries or advocate for their own needs. In therapy, these adults say things like, nothing I did was ever good enough. I am terrified of making mistakes. I do not know who I am or what I want, because I spent my whole life doing what I was told. I cannot handle criticism and it feels like the end of the world. The authoritarian approach teaches children to obey, but it does not teach them to think, to feel, to become independent, healthy adults. It creates compliance through fear, not cooperation through respect. So here's what you need to do to change the authoritarian parenting style. Children need structure and boundaries, absolutely. But they also need warmth, flexibility, and respect. They need parents who can hold firm limits while also validating feelings, who can say, I understand you are angry about this rule, And the rule still stands. Who can involve children in problem solving rather than just dictating solutions? Who can separate the child's worth from their behavior? Now let us move to the second parenting style. Parenting style number 2, the permissive parent. This is the opposite extreme. The permissive parent wants to be their child's friend. They avoid conflict at all costs. They struggle to set boundaries or enforce consequences. They give in to tantrums and demands because they cannot stand their child being upset with them. Or they simply want to avoid meltdowns and hear their child crying out loud. The permissive parent often comes from one of two places. Either they had authoritarian parents themselves and swore they would never be that strict, so they swing completely the other direction. Or they have their own issues with confrontation and people-pleasing, and they cannot tolerate their child's negative emotions. These parents believe they are being kind and supportive. They think they are giving their children freedom and autonomy, and they are often shocked when their children struggle. But here's what happens with permissive parenting. Children need boundaries. Boundaries create safety. When children have no limits, when they are allowed to do whatever they want, it actually creates massive anxiety. Because the world has rules and expectations, and these children are not being prepared for that reality. Children also need to learn frustration tolerance, their need to experience not getting what they want sometimes. They need to learn delayed gratification, self-control, how to manage disappointment. Permissive parenting robs them of these critical skills. As adults, children of permissive parents often struggle with entitlement and poor emotional regulation. They have trouble with authority figures because they never learned to respect boundaries. They struggle to complete difficult tasks because they were never taught to push through discomfort. They have relationship problems because they expect others to cater to their needs the way their parents did. In therapy, these adults say things like, "I cannot handle anyone telling me no. I start things but never finish them. I feel anxious and directionless. I struggle with basic adulting, paying bills, showing up on time, following through on commitments. I do not understand why life is so hard for me when it seems easy for everyone else." The permissive approach teaches children that the world revolves around them, that their comfort is the highest priority, that they should never have to struggle. And then they enter the real world and fall apart. So here's what you need to do to change the permissive parenting style. Children need parents who can be warm and nurturing while also setting clear, consistent boundaries. Who can say no with love? Who can allow children to experience natural consequences? Who can tolerate their child's upset without rescuing them from every difficult feeling? This is called authoritative parenting, not authoritarian, authoritative. It is the balance between structure and warmth, between limits and freedom. Let us move to the third parenting style, and this one might surprise you because it is often praised in our culture. Parenting style number 3. The helicopter parent. This is the overprotective, hovering, constantly involved parent. They monitor every aspect of their child's life. They jump in to solve every problem before their child even encounters it. They cannot tolerate their child struggling or failing, so they remove every obstacle from their path. These parents are motivated by love and fear. They love their children so much that they want to protect them from pain. And they are terrified that if their child fails or struggles, it reflects badly on them as parents. So they hover. They micromanage homework. They call teachers to argue about grades. They solve friendship conflicts for their children. They schedule every minute of their child's time. They make sure everything is perfect so their child never has to experience difficulty. On the surface, this looks like dedication. It's like excellent parenting. These parents are involved. They care. They are present. What could be wrong with that? Here is what is wrong. These children never learn to solve their own problems. They never develop resilience because they never have to overcome challenges on their own. They never learn that they are capable because someone is always doing things for them. More importantly, these children internalize a terrifying message. The world is dangerous. You cannot handle things on your own. You are fragile and need constant protection. As adults, children of helicopter parents struggle with anxiety and lack of confidence. They second-guess every decision because they never learned to trust themselves. They are terrified of failure because they have no experience with it. They struggle with independence because they were never given the chance to practice it. In therapy, these adults say things like, "I am paralyzed by anxiety. I cannot make decisions without asking everyone else what they think. I feel incompetent, even though I have achieved a lot. I am terrified of failing, so I do not try new things. I feel like an imposter in my own life." The helicopter approach teaches children that they are not capable, that the world is too scary for them to navigate alone, that they need constant supervision and intervention. It communicates, "I do not trust you to handle this." So how to change this style? Children need space to struggle, to fail, to figure things out on their own. They need parents who can step back and let them experience natural consequences, who can resist the urge to rescue and instead offer support and encouragement, who can say, "This is hard, and I believe you can handle it. Let me know if you need help." Children build confidence through mastery, not through being protected from every challenge. Now let us talk about the fourth parenting style, and this one is perhaps the most damaging of all. Parenting style number 4, the emotionally unavailable parent. This is the parent who is physically present but emotionally absent. They provide for their child's physical needs, food, shelter, clothing, but they do not provide emotional connection, attunement, or support. This can look many different ways. It might be the parent who is always on their phone, never fully present. The parent who dismisses or minimizes their child's feelings. The parent who does not notice when their child is struggling. The parent who never asks how their child is really doing. The parent who is so wrapped up in their own problems, work stress, marriage issues, their own mental health, that they have nothing left for their child. These parents are not necessarily mean or abusive. They might be kind, they might provide nice things, but there is no emotional connection, no attunement, no sense that the parent truly sees and understands the child. And this creates what psychologists call an attachment wound. Children are wired for connection. They need to feel seen, heard, understood, valued by their primary caregivers. When that does not happen, when their bids for connection are consistently ignored or dismissed, they learn some devastating lessons. They learn, "My feelings do not matter. I am not important enough to pay attention to. Something must be wrong with me if my own parent cannot connect with me. I am alone in this world." As adults, children of emotionally unavailable parents struggle profoundly with relationships. They either avoid intimacy altogether because they never learned to trust emotional connection, or they become anxiously attached, desperately seeking the validation they never received as children. They struggle with emotional regulation because they were never taught how to process feelings. They struggle with self-worth because they never internalize the message that they are valuable and worthy of love. In therapy, these adults say things like, "I feel empty inside, like something fundamental is missing. I do not know how to connect with people. I feel like I am too much and not enough at the same time. I'm terrified of abandonment. I do not trust that anyone really loves me. I struggle to even identify what I'm feeling." The emotionally unavailable approach, or really, the lack of approach, teaches children that they are fundamentally alone, that their emotions are burdensome, that deep connection is not available to them. So, how to change this emotionally unavailable parenting style? Children need emotional presence more than they need anything else. They need parents who put down their phones and make eye contact, who ask not just what happened today, but how they felt about what happened, who validate feelings even when they do not validate behavior, who notice when their child is struggling and offer support, who create a safe space for all emotions, not just the easy ones. This does not mean you have to be perfect. It does not mean you can never be stressed or distracted. It means showing up emotionally most of the time. It means repair when you have not been present. It means letting your child know through words and actions, "You matter to me. Your feelings matter. I see you. I am here." So those are the 4 parenting styles that most commonly lead children to therapy: authoritarian, permissive, helicopter, and emotionally unavailable. Tell me in the comments if you want a video about what is the most appropriate parenting style, and I'll do a video about it. Now here is what I want you to understand. Most parents are not purely one style. Most of us are a mix. Maybe you are mostly authoritative and balanced, but you have helicopter tendencies when it comes to school. Maybe you are warm and connected most of the time, but you can't slip into authoritarian mode when you are stressed. The goal is not perfection. The goal is awareness and intentionality. Ask yourself, which of these styles do I recognize in myself? What did I learn from my own parents that I am repeating? What do I want to change? And here is the most important question. What kind of adult am I trying to raise? Do you want to raise an adult who is confident and capable? Then they need space to struggle and fail and learn resilience. Do you want to raise an adult who can have healthy relationships? Then they need emotional connection and attunement from you. Do you want to raise an adult who can think for themselves? Then they need respect and autonomy, not just obedience. Do you want to raise an adult who can regulate their emotions? Then they need you to validate their feelings and model healthy emotional expression. Everything you do as a parent should flow from the answer to that question. What kind of adult am I raising? Now, I know some of you are thinking, I recognize myself in these styles. I have already made these mistakes. Is it too late? Have I already damaged my child? No, it is not too late. Children are remarkably resilient, and they do not need perfect parents. They need parents who can acknowledge when they have gotten it wrong and make changes. If you have been authoritarian, you can start offering warmth and flexibility now. You can apologize for being too harsh and start involving your child in problem solving. If you have been permissive, you can start setting boundaries with love. You can explain that structure actually helps children feel safe, and you are going to provide more of it. If you have been a helicopter parent, you can't start stepping back. You can tell your child, I realize I've been doing too much for you, and I'm going to give you more space to figure things out because I believe in you. If you have been emotionally unavailable, you can start showing up. You can tell your child, I realize I have not been as present as you deserve, and that is changing starting now. It is never too late to change your parenting into repair. And your willingness to recognize your mistakes and do better is itself a gift to your child. You are modeling growth, humility, and accountability. Remember the most important parenting strategy we talked about before? Repair. Go back a few videos to listen and learn how to do it. This is another opportunity for repair. Repair with yourself. I'm a good parent who has been doing some things that are not working, and repair with your child. I realize I have not been parenting you in the way you deserve, and I am committed to doing better. So let me leave you with this. Your parenting today is creating your child's tomorrow. The way you respond to them, connect with them, set boundaries with them, validate their emotions, allow them to struggle, show up for them emotionally. All of it is shaping who they will become. You have more power than you realize. And you have the ability to choose a different path starting right now. Not a perfect path, not a flawless path, but a more intentional, more balanced, more attuned path. Choose authoritative parenting, the balance between warmth and boundaries. Choose emotional presence. Choose to let your child struggle sometimes because that is how they build resilience. Choose to validate feelings even when you cannot validate behavior. Choose connection over control. Your child does not need a perfect parent. They need a parent who is trying, who is growing, who is willing to look honestly at what is working and what is not. You can be that parent, starting today.